Hi, today's the first day after the government imposed greater restrictions on movement, which was fairly inevitable after people started going out and congregating in greater numbers rather than staying home. I'd heard at the weekend there were more people in Brighton than you normally get on a bank holiday weekend. Isn't very helpful, and it made a greater shutdown fairly inevitable. I've been speaking to various people today who are falling into the sort of category of high risk, I suppose you might put it, people with underlying health issues, asthma or other forms of health issues, and they've been quite worried about what has been going on, and they're very concerned about how people are interacting and the risk it puts them at. It's very well for people that are quite young to carry on as if nothing has happened, but the implication is not for the individual going out, but who they might transfer the virus to afterwards. It might well affect somebody who's been very careful about not going out, but as a result of others breaking the rules, they could end up suffering the consequences. I'd heard that even with the supermarkets, some of them have organised early morning shopping for elderly people, restricted to elderly people or those with underlying health issues, which is very good, although slightly chaotic. I think from what I can gather there were lots of people turning up in the car parks, but not necessarily being able to get through the shop particularly quickly because there was a restricted number of people on the checkouts. So that needs to be worked on a little bit. But then I suppose these are fairly unique times, and the demand was probably not quite what they expected. First thing in the morning, they're not quite used to having to put so many people out on the checkouts. So these are all things that will have to be adapted quite dramatically over the next few days. There's quite a steep learning curve of how to adapt and change normal working practices. Oddly enough, I've been working today and managing to get through to quite a lot of people that I wasn't necessarily expecting to get through to. A lot of companies appear to have organised themselves so they can operate from home. Phone numbers are still working, and you phone the main switchboard and then you get through to somebody who's operating from home. A lot of companies have already got this in place and have been sort of sitting on this for quite some time, this capability, and now obviously the opportunity has come to roll it out so people can now en masse work from home but still maintain quite a high level of operational activity, which is good to know. I think there's some questions coming up about some of the working types. I think initially construction was still allowed to carry on, and people have been questioning whether that should take place or not. I suppose there are two sides to that argument. You want to restrict the number of people moving around, but equally construction can be very time dependent. Their processes, once they've started, it's very difficult to leave them. So things do need to be continued and finished. I'll try and send out some more reports in the next couple of days. Let's see how things start to evolve. This is Mark Brett-Warburton talking to you from Guildford. If you want to get in contact, try emailing me at yourviews@brett-warburton.com. Talk to you soon.